Look, first of all, this is obviously the most exciting industry to be in the most exciting market to be in India. And at a time of tremendous transformation because of the cloud, there's no other place that I would like to be. So excitement is not a problem at all. I know that the world changes constantly. Every 2-3 years, a new technology comes in play, a new competitive environment comes in play, new options come in play for customers. And so it's just an industry where you can constantly remain engaged. And I think in India, we have a large mission. We have millions of small businesses to bring online and get them the benefits of information technology. I think it'll be many years before I feel that we've accomplished what we need to, or I've accomplished what I need to. And so I'm really not worried about anything dampening my excitement for years to come. Success stories. It's very tough speaking about myself. You know, it's always a question of your team.
Significant ones.
I'll tell you the things that I'm proud about that we've accomplished, through our organizations and that I've been a part of. I think one is, our commitment to the small business markets in Microsoft itself. The fact that we've gone and built a healthier ecosystem that's able to go out and reach into the white space of the market and really raise the customer acquisition rate pretty substantially is something I feel very good about. And we've done that with partners over the last 1.5 or 2 years. So if I talk about the pace at which we're acquiring customers really expanding and accelerating, I feel very good about that. I also feel good about the fact that we're navigating the sea of change that's hitting us in a very positive manner. Today's announcement on cloud solution providers, for example, is a way that we've created for partners to actually benefit from the cloud and not be disintermediated because of the cloud. And I think creating these business models and ways for partners to keep thriving in a time of change is something that's going to be useful for Microsoft in our mission. And I feel good about it because we're making a stronger, healthier, bigger partner ecosystem and not one that's shrinking and becoming less and less relevant, which some other places do.
The engagement with the partners are very strong.
I think it's more important than ever. And I want to see a partner ecosystem that keeps expanding. And I think this is a great time of opportunity in which we need the help of as many as possible and not go in another direction and start getting much more focused on just being In fact, I talked about it a little earlier, that I think a couple of bottlenecks. One is awareness about the cloud and what it really means and how people can benefit from it. The second is about how customers can acquire cloud services. And I think in India particularly, it's not just a question of putting a credit card on a website and getting it. They need the help of partners for credits, for putting together multiple purchases into a single statement and all of those kinds of things. So I think we make it easier by using local currency, local players, credit extension through our partners, etc., that make acquisition itself easier. The third one is about the applications themselves. And are there enough relevant applications for the end customer so that they want to buy our products and platforms? And I think that we need to keep building an apps ecosystem, a solution provider ecosystem that provides those products. And finally, it's about the support mechanisms. Small businesses in India are still learning. The smallest ones are learning how to use technology, and cloud helps them with the implementation, deployment, etc. But so do our partners. And again, the types of programs we announced today get partners to provide support to end customers and bring them into the world of technology and give them benefits. So I think those are all barriers, but all of those barriers, as I've talked about before, are actually going to be solved through partners. And that's why I think it's very good. Believe it or not, I'm a physicist in undergrad, so I think the thing that I enjoy most, if I'm not dealing with IT, is actually physics. In fact, I just did this last night. I was teaching my kids electromagnetism and how to build a train using electromagnetics. But it's been 25 years since I've studied it, but it's still something that I'm very passionate about. And maybe someday when I retire, I'll go back to it.
You will nurture it further.
Exactly. Look, it is extremely important. I think that the next wave of growth for us, we have a lot of work to do in the metro areas and the tier 1 cities, and we'll keep working on that. For a few years now, Microsoft's been engaged in our geo expansion strategy. and we've actually gone through the process of deepening our penetration into scores of additional cities. And I think that's what we're going to continue doing. And this is where the breadth ecosystem of ours becomes extremely important. We see the next leg of growth coming from those cities. We believe that those are the cities where our technologies will actually help bring about fundamental change in the business competitiveness of those players, and we'll keep expanding into those areas. So we invest quite heavily in what we call our geo expansion territories. We do a couple of things. One, we spend some capital, time, effort, and asset on what we call market development, making sure that there's awareness of what technology can do in those territories. We also work with our academic teams, and we help educational institutions to make sure that students are aware of our technologies and can come out into their local communities and start adopting technology. We actually go through and invest in our partners and give them additional rebates, for example, to go into those territories and start making the investments that they need to kind of like develop those areas. So it goes from marketing to our outreach programs to the rebating structures we put in for our partners so that we can start developing those territories. So I think we still believe that we need to reach out to the partners that are already existing in those areas. They may be selling hardware, for example. They may be providing additional services like annual maintenance contracts. We're trying to reach out to that partner ecosystem and make sure that they can also position the value of cloud in particular and benefit from the additional revenue that partners can generate through that. So I think we'll go out there and work with partners that exist. We'll also look to keep working with institutions, NGOs and others that may be going to other cities to teach about the value of digital technologies and the digital empowerment, and see if we can leverage them as well. It's big. The numbers are always in the millions. It's so hard to pinpoint exactly how much there is, and I really don't even worry about it. And the reason I don't, because I know it's so big that no matter what we do for the next decade, we still will only have made a tiny impact in that market. So we already have thousands and thousands of customers. We add many, many customers, thousands of customers every month in all across the country, and many of them in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. It's going to be many years before we even worry about hitting any form of a cap. And I think this is where it's been slow historically, but I think we see an acceleration. And that acceleration comes about through a couple of things. One is our own investments that I talked about, making the market aware of our technologies, getting partners in those markets to start talking about it more, showing more, the educational programs, but all of that helps. So I can see that pace accelerating. But I think what also helps accelerate it is the advent of mobility. And we always talk about Microsoft understanding that it's a mobile-first, cloud-first. And as mobility introduces the smallest of businesses and maybe businesses in these tier 2, tier 3 cities about the advantages of IT, the adoption rate also seems to be accelerating. And so I think we're seeing an uptick now. And as we go into programs like our national programs like Make in India, Digital India, the smart cities, all of that, you'll see the awareness continuing to grow, and you'll see Microsoft being able to play a bigger and bigger role in those cities.
These projects are igniting the growth.
Absolutely. And just the awareness, if nothing else. And then from that will come the applications and the need to engage, collaborate, in which case solutions like cloud and mobility and our technologies become so important. And I think this will, in fact, cause a substantial change in the pace of adoption of technology in tier 2 and tier 3.
Anything which you want to add on that maybe I'm missing?
No, I think you've said it all, but there can't have been a more exciting time right now. Every single wave of technology change opens up even bigger markets for everyone. It requires innovation. It requires all of us to change, including the partner ecosystem. If we do it, we can open up markets that we have never even touched before and see many, many, many years of growth for all of us.